Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Sakhi Paper Studio, and today I'm going to do a journal page layout, and it's been a while since I've done that, filmed the process. So I have used a candle jar to make one side of the book stand, and I'm using this water spritzer which has ink, and I'll make a separate tutorial on how to create these inks, which are so much fun as an experiment to create at home. And I realized that the ink was seeping through and I didn't want to waste any more time, so I dried the ink out using the heat gun tool. And yeah, these spritz waters, the containers are from Dress My Craft, and how I have made these inks at home, I'll definitely film a process on that later on. Okay, so next step, going ahead, I'm planning to layer everything which I have taken out. I have a rough idea in my mind, like always. I know that I always take out a few pieces, and most of them I use, and some I don't. So after using the distress ink on the page around, I thought of using this piece. I had created this a very long time back, say a few years ago, while watching Tim Holtz live video. So I'm applying glue at the back and I'm just sticking it down on the paper as it is. It's actually a proper technique. Okay, I think I had used glaze, Tim Holtz glaze, to create this effect. Okay, so now this paper is too big for my page, so I'm going to trim it down, corner the edges, distress all the edges around, and then stick it on my page. So that way it not only adds a layer, but even the design of the purple colored element is visible. Okay, now moving ahead, I'm going to take a row out of this paper which has got all these, jars and jugs and sorts of things. Again, distressing around the edges, and it goes on top. So that completes the third layer. For the fourth layer, I have this triangular piece which is open from two sides. And before distressing, I thought of closing one side because I want it to act like a pocket, which you will see in a while what I'm trying to say. I've added glue at the back, stuck it right on the corner, and once it dries out, I have this recipe card in my stash which I had stamped. So I basically have a stamp, and I use it often to stamp and keep the pieces ready, so that whenever I have some ideas in my mind related to cooking, or I want to note something down, I just write it down, scribble, add some pictures, and tuck it in my journal. So I've taken out the sentiments that says cooking is an art and made with love. Distressed it again, and the corner pieces in the beginning you saw me cutting, snipping it off, so I'm using the extras at the bottom. So instead of saving, sometimes it's just more convenient to use the scraps then and there itself in the project. So that is what I'm doing. This is one of those days. So the corner triangular piece acts as a tuck spot, and the sentiment goes off the blue color rectangular piece just for the added interest. I love layering. That's one of my most favorite, way to pass time, practicing layering, because I like things which are visually appealing sometimes, and also I can practice my techniques and use a lot of things that I have in my boxes. Okay, I have a lot of space also at the bottom. When I remove the recipe card, even there I can journal and do things. I've added a few gumdrops also, you saw me adding that. And now moving to the next step, which I'm going to now create an ATC, that is an artist trading card. As the name suggests, you are supposed to create the cards and send it out to a swap partner who also creates ATCs, and they send you back along with some goodies or according to the theme that is decided. But for me, I'm not going to swap any of these, so I thought of using not only creating ATCs but also using them in my journals. Now, the thing about making different kinds of projects is that you don't limit yourself to a particular size of project. So, if you have a journal page, you can do some layering, practice layering in a big page. If you have a tiny amount of page left, like an ATC size, you can practice your techniques there. If you have a card, A2 or A5, accordingly you move. So different things, different ways of practicing, and it's always nice to use your creativity and come up with so many different kinds of outcomes. So the more I keep trying, the more fun I have. So here I am layering everything one on top of the other. This acts like a pocket. I've zoomed in so that you can see it clearly. The base is from my own printable series. If you have watched my previous videos where I've shared my printables, so that's one of them. And for this particular one, I thought of adding a tag with this lady smiling. So I'm adding some glue, sticking it down, and on top I'll add a tag. Now on this tag, I'm thinking of adding these cute little shakes. So first I thought of adding more elements like a pan or things like that, but it was looking too congested. So I finally concluded and I stuck with these jars. I added double-sided foam tapes at the back for an added raise. I also left a little bit space at the bottom so that I can add a sentiment. Now after layering, I'll add a sentiment. So this one says yummy. Of course, I have distressed it before sticking it down. And here I'm going to add enjoy, but little downwards so that the kettle is seen. At the back, I can write my favorite quote related to cooking. That I will do later on. And for the finishing touch, I'm adding glossy accents on the hearts and as well as on the cinnamon sticks. And I'm obsessed with these glossy accents. In my past videos, you've been seeing me using glossy accents a lot. I love the shimmery and the slight 3D effect it gives. So here's the completed look. Of course, I'll be adding everything in my journal once I write and decorate and add pictures of my own cooking, things like that. And I hope you enjoyed this creative process as much as I did. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. Bye.